Straight out of the mouth of my gynecologist, you can use the MIRENA in HRT as the progesterone or progestin component because the MIRENA delivers progestin, it delivers levonorgestrel to your uterus and it stays local, and that replaces taking micronized progesterone. So yesterday I went to my gynecologist. Let me just show you the micronized progesterone before I carry on. That's Utrogestin. It is pharmaceutical and bioidentical. You can go to a compounding pharmacy and get them to make you up compounded progesterone. This is body identical or bioidentical, whichever way you want to call it. And this I get from my gynecologist, you can see there. And he prescribed me Utrogestin and Femigel. And then I do take a compounded half a pump of testosterone gel for women. This is compounded because there is no pharmaceutical brand, there is no pharmaceutical testosterone for women, so there's nothing he can write me a script for. I get this from another doctor who I think has got ties to this compounding pharmacy. Anyway, if you go back to all my HRT videos and all my perimenopausal videos, you'll see my whole journey, but I'm just trying to catch you up. There are many of you who are new here. And so those of you who have followed my journey, you will remember that I went to a gynecologist who gave a talk on menopause. This is the guy I'm going to now, and he prescribed me Femigel, which is an estradiol gel cream, and it is both pharmaceutical and bioidentical, as well as the Utrogestin. And I've been feeling fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And he told me to stay on this half a pump just because my personal testosterone levels are very low. That doesn't apply to all women everywhere. Testosterone can be part of your HRT, but it's not a given. So you would need to test your levels. And anyway, I've been using these now for 6 months, but I am getting bleeding, and in theory I should not be bleeding because the Utrogestin, the micronized bioidentical progesterone tablet, this one here, that one should be keeping my uterine lining thin. That is why we use progesterone in HRT. And yes, I'm in perimenopause, but I'm on HRT for my perimenopause. In theory, the progesterone should be counterbalancing the effects of the estrogen, but I do get breakthrough bleeding. And so I made an appointment with this gynae, and yesterday, ladies, I had the MIRENA fitted. Now, just to recap again, the MIRENA is an IUD, so it's the little T-shaped thing that goes inside your cervix into your uterus, and it sits there, and the MIRENA delivers a progestin, so it's a fake progesterone, or synthetic would be the better word. It's a synthetic progesterone, and it is in that levonorgestrel that is in the MIRENA is part of many, many birth control tablets. And its main job, especially in the MIRENA, is to keep your uterine lining thin. And that's how it works as pregnancy prevention or as contraception. But for me, I'm using it to keep the lining thin, which counteracts the estradiol. Now, estradiol, grows your uterine lining. So I'm going to put on the screen here a graph. As your estrogen rises, when you're having monthly cycles, your estrogen rises, your uterine lining grows, it thickens and grows. And then in the second half, your progesterone rises, and that halts the growth of your uterine lining. And then when both hormones drop off, that is when you have a period. Now, in my case, being on HRT, I'm obviously not doing a cycle, and ideally, I would like to have no period. And so yesterday when he fitted the MIRENA and I spoke to him, he said that there could be intermittent bleeding for the first few months. And then by month 6, he expects me fully to have no period going forward. So that is my personal goal, my personal aim. I've also heard menopause tailors say that progestins do a better job of keeping your uterine lining thin, and they do a better job than actual micronized progesterone. And so I'm happy with that. And she actually, in her consult to me, by the way, if you don't know who she is a retired OBGYN. She's got her own YouTube channel here and she does consults. So in her Zoom consult with me, she told me that I could very well use the MIRENA and then I wouldn't need progesterone or any of this. So the MIRENA, just to be very clear, the MIRENA is replacing this in my HRT. It's not replacing the estradiol. The estradiol I will continue on. If you've ever had a MIRENA fitted, you know how painful it is. Anyway, when he fitted it, he was just saying that, so I wouldn't need Utrogestin anymore. So he's just given me another new script for Femigel only. And I have worked it out and I've done the calculations in my head because why not? It will be so much cheaper in the long run. Yes, it was a big cost up front yesterday to fit the MIRENA. The MIRENA is not cheap. I had to buy the MIRENA and bring it in and then pay the gynecologist fees to have it fitted. But that amount is a once off. And this MIRENA, he said, should last me for 7 years because I'm not using it as contraception. I'm using it as part of my HRT. So he said, it will last me 7 years, at which point, more likely than not, I will be in full-blown menopause. And by then I may not need to worry about bleeding. But of course, you still want to keep your uterine lining thin. So I could just replace the MIRENA or go back onto oral progesterone. And he said, I just continue now with the Femigel. Obviously, I told him I'm still continuing half a pump of Testogel, and that is my HRT. So yes, yesterday was painful. You put the MIRENA in and your uterus cramps like a mother fluffer. So I was like man down, out for the count yesterday. I just lay in bed all day, well, all afternoon after I had that fitted. There is some obviously bleeding after the procedure. Also, this particular gynecologist had prescribed me something called Cytotec, which relaxes and opens up your uterus and your cervix, but it's also what they use to induce labor or to induce an early abortion. So your uterus sort of does go into contractions and apparently opens up. I didn't feel like it helped that much. I've had a copper IUD. I had a copper IUD about 5 years ago without Cytotec. But yesterday when he fitted the MIRENA, as you put the MIRENA in, your uterus like starts to spasm, or at least in my case it does. So to lie there, luckily my lovely partner, he drove me home and I just lay down for the rest of the afternoon, very bloated, cramping. It felt like I was having a full-blown period, although I wasn't, but just that crampy, bloated feeling. So just in case you guys have never had a MIRENA or you want to use it as your HRT, just expect that. It is normal. It could take you a day or two to recover, but already I'm feeling a lot better. I will, however, take the rest of today to rest. I'm not doing gym. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I just want my body to accept and get used to this MIRENA. Like I said, the beauty of it is it's delivering a very safe, it's an older progestin, levonorgestrel. It's had many years of research, so you can rest assured it's doing its job. And I will let you guys know whether it does in fact stop my intermittent bleeding that I am having on the HRT. And just to recap and just so you understand again, it's the estradiol, and in your normal cycles when you're having normal periods, it's your own estrogen that grows and thickens your uterine lining, obviously in preparation for pregnancy. And then in your second half of your normal cycle, the progesterone comes along and halts the lining. It stabilizes everything. So we use these synthetic progesterones now, like in the MIRENA and in the birth control pill, to keep the uterine lining thin. It's advantageous to also prevent uterine cancer because it's the overgrowth of that lining that can cause uterine cancer. So especially when you are on HRT, you do need a progesterone or a progestin if you have your uterus. And so I do feel in a way almost happier, at least just from what I've read, that the MIRENA will actually do a better job of keeping that lining thin. It's going to do a better job than the micronized progesterone. And I've seen that for myself. I've taken the micronized progesterone and I still bleed. Now, it's possible I could have just doubled my dose of micronized progesterone, but this is the dose that he said was the standard dose, 100 milligrams, which should have balanced the estradiol. It didn't. If I doubled on this dose, which I could have, I would have been paying a lot more. And in the long run, especially now that I no longer need the Utrogestin, it's going to save me money. It's another medication I don't need every month. So I'm happy. I just wanted to share that with you ladies. I also wanted to remind all of you, if you're in your 40s and you're feeling like shit and you don't know what's going on, it's more than likely perimenopause. Please, please, please take the time, do yourself a favor and take the time to read books on perimenopause and menopause, to watch a whole lot of educational content. I've done that. I've educated myself. And so when I go into the gynecologist, like yesterday, I feel like I can have an intelligent and informed conversation with him. When I went back to my normal doctor, who I get the compounded Testogel from, we had a whole conversation around HRT, and I told him I'm now on the Femigel, and I explained everything to him, and he said that more and more doctors are switching or are coming around to the fact that HRT is safe. In fact, it's beneficial. It has far more benefits than risks. There is no actual causal relationship. This is what he's told me, not from my words. This is from my doctor. There's no causal relationship between HRT and breast cancer. He actually went to a conference where another guy spoke about this. So I'm just letting you guys know from the mouths of a a gynecologist and a doctor. And menopause tailor. HRT is safe. In fact, it has many benefits. You can use a MIRENA as the progestin or progesterone component if you want to. I mean, that's all up to you. And I'm here to remind you that it is your body, your health, your life, how you feel. It's up to you. So you decide, do you want to go on HRT or not? But go educated and then work with a doctor and find your best path through this tricky time that is perimenopause and menopause. I have so many videos on the topic. I will link a few of them in the description box below. I encourage you to check them out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.